Is life a perception based on perspective, or is perspective based on perceptions?
Have you completely binary?
Dude, for people like us and all, there are only two options in life. It's engineering or medicine.
Bro, come on. There's a whole lot more to life than just that. You're just looking at it from the wrong perspective.
That's completely anti-national. How can you say that? I mean, how can you not be patriotic?
I don't believe in such ideas, to be honest. The notion of a country itself is just this perception that is implanted in our minds.
Children, life is just like a balance sheet. You must balance things out to give rise to that final statement, just as a balance sheet declares a final statement.
Has she gone mad?
No, dude. Think about it.
Perspectives. Life through perspectives and perceptions.
Episode 5 Finding a Way to Prove Something to Yourself and Disprove Those That Didn't Believe with Sunishka Karthik.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show.
My guest today is
Currently studying and playing basketball at the varsity level at Woodside Prairie School in Portola Valley, California. My guest has also become kind of an icon in the Bangalore basketball scene and then became too big for the city and moved away to the US to continue her passion of basketball. The conversation you're about to hear is the first time I'm actually talking to her, which made it so much more interesting, to be honest. And on today's show, we talk about how she always wants to get better, how she's found the right circle of friends finally, and just how hardworking and passionate she is about the game and how she loves giving back. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Sunishka Karthik.
Hi.
what's up? What's the time there?
It's like 11:40 in the morning. I just did practice and I had breakfast. So I'm just chilling now.
Fun. Let's just start off with this. I mean, in Bangalore, you seem to be one of the better known basketball female players in the under 16, under 18 category. Different is it over there?
So coming to a new place where no one knows your skills or your abilities or anything, it basically means that you're going to be starting from the bottom all over again, right? I already saw this coming and I was prepared for it, but when you're good at something you do and you're recognized for it in one place and you go to a completely different place and you need to build that reputation again, it's tough. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
So I've been working with my coach and like teammates a lot to get my game up to the varsity standards over here because it's a completely different ball game.
What is the toughest part? Is it that moving to a new place, is that the hardest part of adjusting and just change to the environment? Or
Okay, I can tell you for a fact that I would rather be in a completely different place doing different things than staying in the same place and being around the same kind of environment because change is what brings out either the best or the worst in you, right? So for me, the hardest part of moving is that I don't have my parents around me and I don't have my grandparents who were my biggest supporters who came to all my games. So it's going to be tough without like seeing my parents and grandparents at the bleachers because they were always there. Like they're always like supporting me. And I also miss a lot of the friends that I made in the last year because like the friends I made throughout the last year are the ones that I want to keep because they genuinely helped me so much. And it's kind of tough without them not around anymore and that I'll have to make new friends all over again. And it's the whole process and it's going to take some time. So that's pretty hard. And also basketball wise especially, sometimes you look at everybody else and you're like, I really need to work my ass to get off here. Like I really need to work my ass off to get where they're at. But it's not hard per se. It really tends to motivate me. But sometimes when you don't reach your goals like as soon as you'd like to, it tends to like drag you down a bit.
how much of an issue is that you feel dragged down and just sad that there's no one to even support you, like be there physically?
Our school is a pretty tight community, so I know that our school is rooting for us. So like they're obviously going to be there to support, and I also know that my guardian family is going to be there at my games to support. But then it's just not the same when it's not your parents and
Correct.
your immediate
Obviously.
family.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll be lazy for 2-3 days and I'll be like, I can't do this right now, I need a break. And then I'll be like, nah, you can't take this kind of these kind of stupid breaks if you want to get somewhere. So that pretty much just pushes me back onto court. Especially when I feel like I'm being super useless, I tend to get really harsh about the fact that I'm not doing anything. So that pushes me to go out there and get back on court and do stuff again. So yeah.
Do you never see that as a bad thing to beat yourself up so hard?
I mean, sometimes I do because it does end up going to places that shouldn't even be thought about considering the current the root of it. But then sometimes it also does help motivate me. So it's very situational. Yeah.
Is it really worth it to push yourself, to beat yourself up so much? Do you ever think about, why am I doing this?
Honestly, at any given point of time in the last years that I've been playing basketball, I've never thought of it as something I want to give up.
Huh. Yeah.
If I was beating myself up, it would be you're not good enough, you need to do better. You can't be going to all these camps and then not doing absolutely nothing about it. So that was kind of the mindset that got me through under 16.
Yeah.
Because at that point, stuff was actually going really well, but then I just needed to play this one tournament so well that no one would it would be something different.
Huh.
So other than my parents and my grandparents, I also had this one friend who was an older brother to me, and he kept supporting me through everything. Picked up all my calls at 1 a.m. about how I'm not ready for the game, how I'm not ready to play the tournament, how I don't think I'm gonna do well. And instead of being the regular, hey, no, it's okay, you'll be fine, he'd be shut up and go to sleep. You're going to do well, stop beating yourself up.
Yeah.
And then he'd be okay. He just kept it real with me. So I feel that also really helped me when I was always beating myself up.
So you also said that you have to prove yourself. Does it feel like a burden, or do you have to start from the bottom and I'm not the one on the top anymore?
It doesn't feel like a burden or even an obligation. It's more like a goal. I know where I want to be. So I also know that I need to put in the hard work to get there. And sometimes I go, geez, am I really going to be able to do it? I don't think I can do this. And then I'm what? No, you came this far. You need to go ahead. You need to finish what you started. So starting from the bottom again, it's definitely a huge task, but then there's also only one way to go. So.
And what happens when you don't reach that goal?
I guess we could cross that bridge once I get to it.
On a daily basis, what happens if you don't reach that goal one day?
Oh, then so on a daily basis, if I don't reach my goal, then it just tends to make me slack off for the rest of the day. So if I didn't do as well as I'd like to have in scrimmage at practice, then it's just gonna keep nagging me, and then my homework's gonna go down the drain. It tends to have the critical effect.
Oh God. So how much do you try and avoid this cycle?
So times when I feel there isn't a lot of homework, but there's still a fair amount that's going to keep me up for a while. But you know what? Screw this. I'll do this in class. I don't want the rest of my day to, I don't want to just be going through the rest of the day because that's not what I came here for. So that sometimes it helps me, but other times I'm stuck, I don't have any other go. So I just stay up and finish my homework as fast as I can. But then I also end up calling on some of my friends from India. So that keeps me calm, happy.
Yeah.
I feel because of my friends who I try to talk to as much as I can, it's honestly stopping me from spiraling. It's not bad at all. This place is amazing. But then sometimes when you miss people and the workload gets too much and then you're thinking about how you're nowhere as close as you want to be, it gets overwhelming. So that's when I call up my friends and I'm hey, listen, this is happening. Can we talk? Just have a normal conversation. Tell me what's been up with in your life. So after that, I just feel a lot lighter and better because I'm keeping it home. So yeah, that kind of stops me from going berserk.
Why home? Why is it so important? Is it just that you've had that strong connection? You've been able to build strong friendships, or what is it?
Like I said, the friends I made in the last year, they've helped me a lot, right? So before that, I didn't really have like the best set of friends. Like a lot of people just, they came and they left, like it was nothing to both sides, like to me and to the other person.
Okay.
So when I did find a set of friends who actually cared, like the connections I formed in the last 8 months of me being in Bangalore are the ones that make me feel nice. It's nice to have people like them to fall back to. Honestly, the only connection to home are like my parents and those people, and I'm happy that they all have such positive personalities because I wouldn't wanna hear about home as like this place where there's so much drama. So I'm happy I'm hearing it from people who are really peaceful, who are like, you know what, I don't care about the drama. Like here's the good stuff that's been happening. So yeah, it's really nice having people like them back at home so I can still stay connected. It's like a two-way street. It's like I still want to know about what goes on at home and they want to know what goes on over here.
True.
So it's really nice.
So it almost seems as if the positivity they give you fuels you.
Yeah, it definitely does because at least some of them, they have expectations. Like they genuinely want to see me get where I want to be, and they're always pushing me to do that. So yeah, it's crazy energy, and I love it. So yeah.
Wow. So it almost seems like they are what your family was. That drive pushing you to be better.
Yep, when I left, one of my friends said, we're forever your home. And that's really stayed with me. And I'm pretty sure it will for as long as I'm here. So,
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, who would have thought you'd still have such a strong friend base?
I know, I'm surprised because I thought that once I came here, everyone, all of us, including me, that we all just get on with our lives and eventually end up replacing each other. But then it's inevitable. It just tends to happen whether you need to or not. That's what happens in most cases. Move away anyway. But then when I got here, I realized that they were the tightest I'd ever had, and that I don't want to lose them. So we've all been keeping in touch, and I don't think it's going away.
So how does that relate to you being able to move on? Do you think that affects you as you have not been able to let go? Or is it that the connection is so strong that there's no scene of even letting go?
Yeah, it's just that strong because sometimes my friends and I do have squabbles from literally across 2 continents, and we do stop talking to each other for 2-3 days. But then in the end, it's always hey, listen, I don't want to lose my best friends when we're so far away. It isn't nice, and I'm sorry, and we apologize. It's always sorted out. So
Makes sense. But I still go back to the question: why is that bond so strong? I mean, what is it that you have found a way to connect with these people? Is it that it can't just be, oh, you love basketball, you love this, you love that, that's why we're best friends?
It's because all of them and I, we've been through a lot together. Because if you don't have people around you, then you're going through everything on your own, which can be really mentally taxing. If you have people around you who are fake about it, who don't care about what's happening in your life, but tend to, it could hurt you later on. But when you have people who know what you're going through and try to understand it, even if they don't, and genuinely be there for you, that kind of energy is different. That's basically the energy all of us have, with each other.
So is that always your mindset? Okay, whatever happens, I have them.
Yeah, I have them. I have my family, and I'm also determined to make something out of this opportunity. So that's basically my mindset.
Are you scared?
A little, yeah.
Okay. And what keeps you from falling apart?
Of course, other than my family and my friends, who I'm always turning to, when stuff happens, I would also say it's the fact that I have so much to prove.
Prove to yourself?
Prove to myself, mostly. Okay, so I have so much to prove to myself, and I also have a lot of people to prove wrong.
Wow, okay. But why is that? Where does this come from that you have to prove something to yourself?
Because I started playing basketball when I was 4, but I didn't take it seriously then. So it was just a year and a half thing, and then like I stopped playing till 3 years back. And after I picked up basketball again, there's been so many ups and downs in my life. But then the thing is, I'd always look like, I'd turn to basketball for peace. So
Okay.
whenever I was mad about something, then I pick up my basketball and I dribble or I just get out my frustration. Along with proving it to myself, I also have a lot to give back to the game. So that's another reason that I really want to make an opportunity out of this.
Do you feel that you have to prove something to the friends that have supported you?
Okay, so if I'm breaking it down, it's mostly because I need to prove it to myself and because I need to give back so much to the game. And there's also my parents have made so many sacrifices to help me, get where I need to be.
Yeah.
And it's also because my friends have always backed me up through everything. I feel like I'm doing it for them as much as I'm doing it for myself.
Cool. Makes sense. So by saying giving back to the game, do you mean in the sense that the game has given so much to you that you feel obliged to give back to the game?
I don't feel obliged to give back to the game. I want to give back to the game. Because it was through basketball that I really learned to start trusting myself. And it was through basketball that I met some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. I need to owe a part of my personality to basketball because my determination and my toughness came from that. So that's why I feel like I need to give back to the game because in the weirdest way, basketball is being there for me. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just that it's given me so much to be thankful for. It's literally part of my life. I can't imagine my life any different. I can't imagine having taken up another sport or any other activity.
Like friends fulfill you in the sense that they give positivity to you. Basketball does that to you.
There are bad games. Obviously, it happens to everybody. It does bring me down, but then it always pushes me to do harder. And when there's good games, everyone on the team is happy, and it's just nice seeing everyone on the team happy that their hard work is paid off, and just generally enjoying the moment. It's nice to see that.
As strange as this sound, it almost seems as if basketball is an actual person. I mean, the way we're looking at it and breaking it down is to you, basketball is good to you, the game is good, you're happy, that's all.
Yeah.
And you put in more work if there's a bad relationship. Oh my god, this is insane.
It's a weird way to look at the game, but it is what it is. So.
How shocked were you when you reached there, looking at the level?
The level over here is insane. We're not that far behind.
Yeah?
Very honestly, we're not that far behind.
Wow, I wouldn't think so.
I know, that was kind of a big shock to me because I thought, and honestly, I still am nowhere as close to as good as I want to be in comparison to the people who play over here, but it is possible.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this as some motivational, I'm not saying this as some motivational sermon. It's really easy to improve over here because the coaches, they take care of you. Teams are legit. It's like a family.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to improve in this environment. It's not that hard to get at par with everyone. It is a lot of work, but if you do it dedicatedly, then you'll be at par with everyone. And surpassing them is just more work, but it's all worth it in the end. So
this is a ton of confidence for someone who's 15?
Yeah.
I mean, but
I don't know. I guess my confidence comes from personal experience.
In what sense?
Because of missed opportunities.
Okay.
It started with the smallest things, not answering a question I knew in class because I was scared that it might be wrong.
Oh god, why?
And then it started with the smallest of things. So there was this one game 3 years ago when I was 12 years old, which could have gone completely differently if I just trusted myself and taken the ball and done my thing. But I didn't have confidence in myself and I didn't have confidence in my team.
Yeah.
So after that one game, my coach told me this would have gone so much better if you just trusted yourself. I don't even know why you were so underconfident about this game. So ever since then, I've made a promise to myself to be confident when I really know what I'm doing.
Okay.
There's also fake it till you make it. So that's one thing that stuck with me at least a year and a half.
Where did that come from?
You know, when some friendships don't work out,
Yeah.
and it is your fault too, but it's also because you so blindly trusted the person and you feel like a fool in the end. But then you gotta act like it's fine, like it doesn't matter and that it doesn't really affect you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I got fake it till you make it from there, and also some of my confidence from there, because sometimes you tend to beat yourself up completely over like failed friendships and like a lot of things along those lines. But then when you look at it after a while, like a few months down the lane, or maybe even like a year or so down the lane, you realize that it wasn't always you, that it was both of you, and there were always signs of it from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you realize when you realize it's not just you, that's another thing that basically said, hey, you're not always the bad person. Like, it's okay. You might mess up sometimes, but in the end, it matters whether you've like made it up to them or how you've grown from that experience.
But you still do beat yourself up quite often, like you said. Why? Have you tried to reduce it, or like is it still there?
I mean, yeah, I've tried to reduce it and it has come down, but you know, when you're just like super frustrated with yourself and you don't want to talk to anybody else and you just want to keep everything like inside, and you know, you just don't want to like let anyone know what you're going through. Like, it doesn't even have to be bad. It's just that you want to deal with it on your own, because like you need to start dealing with things on your own.
Yeah.
So it's along those lines for me.
Okay. But why would you want to deal with something on your own when you have such a fantastic support group?
Because like I know I can get through it on my own, that other people don't need to be involved.
That's beating yourself up, pushing yourself through something that you don't need to do.
It's just that I trust myself to like get out of it without too much involvement. I should rephrase that, because I do talk about it, but I don't actively seek advice. Like, it's just like a vent.
Okay. Uh-huh. And again, that's from the
that.
confidence that you have.
Yeah, because it also comes from the fact that I've confided in quite a few wrong people.
Oh God.
That, yeah, after having people like that and then knowing people that I do now, like, it just tends to like change you. Like, you become a lot more sure of yourself when you have the right people around you and when like stuff's been going well for you. And also when sometimes when you revisit like how your life used to be and seeing how far you've come, or even how far you haven't, or even if like stuff's still the same, you know that it's gotten at least a little better.
Yeah.
So that's also one thing that keeps you like, hey, yeah, like I know I can do this. So that's another place where my confidence comes from.
But then how do you have the faith in these people that they won't do you wrong?
Okay, I don't know how to explain it, but you know when there's just that unspoken promise of even if you do fall out, the stuff stays between y'all. So that's one reason I know that I can confide in them. And another reason is because like you can't explain it. It's just there. Like you just trust them.
Cool. Makes sense. When you don't give your best, what happens? How much do you beat yourself up?
Okay, if I'm being very honest, when I don't give my best, if like the way I beat myself up when I knew I could have done better is that, hey, you should have done this instead. Why did you have to do this? Like, why didn't you trust yourself more? So that beating up is more like motivational than like, you know, like angry, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but I'm also careful about like how I beat myself up, except when it's completely out of my control and just up to my emotions.
Oh God.
But when I can control it, then I try to make it positive as possible.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
That's a fun way to put it. Beat yourself up positively.
I mean, hey, it's like you shouldn't have done this, you dodo, but like you did that instead, but maybe next time pull this instead. So it's like that.
Alright. On that note, we come to the end of this episode. This has been fairly fun. If you enjoyed the show, do follow at perspections.podcast on Instagram. Do comment, share, like, the usual stuff. Thank you so much, Sunishka, for talking to me for the first time and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Till the next episode. Goodbye.